I am Chad Harris, and I am an insurance agent here local. Keyword local. I work out of the area, however I do live in another area. I live in Wake Crossroads area, which, for those of you who are not familiar, I actually live about 35 minutes, 40 minutes from here. So I commute, but you know what? I commute everywhere, every day, so it doesn't bother me. I go to people's homes, I go to their work, I go to wherever they are, so I'm pleased to come wherever I can come. It's not a problem at all. To open up my time today, I want to quote something that actually is a quote that I've modeled my business around, and I believe that each one of you would agree with me when you hear the quote. But this is a quote that I heard very early on, and that I'm modeling around. It is, for those of you who know, it's a gentleman named Brian Tracy, who's a motivational speaker. Develop the winning edge. Small differences in your performance can lead to large differences in your results. So small tweaks to your performance can lead to large differences in your results and what you do. That can be translated into many different things. That can be translated into dollars made, but it can also be put into how happy are your clients. A little bit more effort, does that make them a little bit happier? Does that make them stay with you a little bit longer and make them tell more people about you? And that's the way I've modeled my business, is if I can tweak it just a little bit, that's how I'll achieve success. With Farm Bureau, I represent many different products and many different things, but we specialize in a few. We have the bread and butter products, bottom line. I'll tell you those right now. We specialize in auto insurance, home insurance, boat coverages and jewelry coverages, umbrella coverages, health insurance coverage for individuals, and Medicare supplement policies for senior citizens. So that is the bread and butter of what I do every single day and the referrals that I'd like to gain from you. I did mention in my 60 seconds that we were going to take some LSD today. Congratulations. If you hadn't taken it before, it's quite a trip. But what I didn't say is that instead of LSD, we're going to take something called LCD. And what I want to introduce you to is two least common denominators. I want to tell you two different stories that actually tell you about my business through testimonial, through referral. I want to introduce to you two specific people that I've worked with and stories of that and how I made it happen and how I do things different to bring that business in and to complete the product and to please everybody. The first story has to do with health insurance. It was a referral that I had gained a while back, but it was just for a home and auto policy. They were in the market to buy a home, and the referral came to me, so I helped them out with that home and with that auto insurance. Built a great relationship, but about a month later I got a phone call. And the question was, Chad, we've just relocated to Raleigh, and my company is charging me for my wife and our two children $900 a month for health insurance. I said, you know, Don, that's kind of crazy. That's pretty high right there. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can't take a look at it. Now, what I do that's different is you can go online and you can apply for whatever you want, and they're going to kick you back numbers. But what do the numbers mean? Do you have any idea when you pull out your health insurance card what the numbers actually mean? In this situation, it was a lot more intricate. One of their children had mental health issues. If you're familiar with medical insurance, you understand that mental health is billed completely separate than anything else. It's a psychiatrist visit or it's psychological care. It's billed completely separate. You do not pay a copay when you go to see them. It is applied 100% to your deductible. So you will pay out of pocket for that until you hit that annual deductible. We needed to make sure that the product that we could get them into billed the exact same so there were no changes. Very simply found a product. But the key was that there was a specific need that had to be filled there in order to make it make sense. The end result is saving $400 a month in health insurance with the same coverages, just by exploring options. Now, it's not all about the savings, but $400 a month isn't bad. That's $4,800 a year that they get to spend on something other than health care coverage, which is pretty nice on the wallet. What I did there, the difference of what I would do versus what you'll find anywhere else, is that I took the time to study and explore the situation to deliver the best approach in the end. Keywords is study and explore. Taking valuable time to study what they have to give a comparative approach. Story number 2. Got a referral from a current client of mine. He called me and said, "Chad, I want you to call my mom." No problem. Love to call your mom. Call Mom, and Mom is 90 years old. Now, I'm sure that all of you, not talking about your grandparents, but I'm sure you all have or known somebody that is just old and just ornery as hell. Well, this was her. The first phone call was, "Hey, Joan, Chad, Farm Bureau, I'd really love to sit down with you and go over all this stuff. Your son thinks we need to sit down." "Oh, you can't help me. I got arthritis. I can barely get out of the bed." "Oh, whatever. I wish I just died." She said that. She said that. 90 years old. I said, "Well, you're not going to die today. We're going to go ahead and get this fixed for you." Went over to her house, sat down with her, and went over all of her coverage. She had been with the exact same company for 12 years. There's nothing wrong with staying with the same company for 12 years. The key for staying for 12 years is to constantly be checking to make sure everything's okay, having an agent that's reaching out to you to adjust things that need to be adjusted so things don't get out of hand. The insurance world is always changing. You should too. You should look at opportunities of how to save on the premiums, how to adjust coverages, because your risk will change every day. Every time you deposit a new paycheck in there, you're more valuable. You have to protect those values. You have assets, let's protect them. What I did is I did the comprehensive review that I usually do of her policies and discovered some pretty astonishing things. The current company had her home valued over $125,000 more than what it needed to be. Now let's think about that for a second. She had a whole other house of insurance sitting on that policy. Well, what has she been doing for 12 years? She's been paying for that extra house insurance on there for 12 years. That's just the home insurance. The auto insurance was the same. The company had never adjusted points that were supposed to come off of the policy that were charging her extra premium from an accident years ago. And all that was just a review issue. It was a clerical error inside of the company. But until somebody sat down and reviewed the options, she had no idea that she was paying too much. The bottom line, in my opinion, she was being taken advantage of. That's not fair to anybody. It gives a bad name for the company, it gives a bad name for her, it gives a bad name for the agent. We don't want that to happen. The end result, after sitting down and going through all this with her, was a $1,200 savings of all of her coverages. But the savings, again, is not important. The fact is that she's now insured properly, she knows what she has, and we've covered all the needs. There's no baloney in there. The bottom line is she's covered for what needs to be covered. The difference there is you have to enjoy the idea of changing somebody's perspective on a product or a service. She has the perspective that my agent's taking advantage of me, that the companies are out to get you, and that insurance is just a ripoff. Well, I enjoy the opportunity of sitting down with those people and showing what you're paying for and showing what your perspective and how it's wrong. That we are here for a purpose, and that we serve that purpose if you get a proper agent every day. That's one of the biggest joys of the industry, is that you get to have those conversations with people who just hate insurance. And you get to prove to them day after day that insurance is actually a good thing. And let me show you how it can be a good thing. Let's set it up to be that. That takes you to my two LCDs of a couple examples of how I run my business. But the two, I'll call them most common denominators, MCDs, that if you listen for there, is that I take time with my clients to sit down with them and walk them through, and it all backs up to service when they need it. That if they need to talk or need to sit down and confused about something, need to figure it out, I'll sit down with them and take the time and service to do that. I will ask for the following people for referrals. I will ask on 6 different categories, if each of you would listen for it, that are just bread and butter winners for referrals for me. The first one is real estate agents. Love an opportunity to sit down with a real estate agent and to tell them my different approach to the business. Mortgage brokers, the exact same. Sitting down with them, showing them a difference, shows them how they can show their clients more value in their insurance, which creates value to them. 2, any new home purchases is a great opportunity to put Chad Harris out there, as well as new vehicle purchases. It's a great opportunity for a change. There's going to be a change in policy. We can go ahead and shift everything over and make it a smooth transition. The 5th is state or city employees. Both have state or city health plans. Both get completely ripped off with that. And I'd love an opportunity to sit down with them, show them some options, and give them an open mind on that. The 6th is something that I've never mentioned before, but the 6th is senior citizens. I'd love an opportunity to sit down with senior citizens. Nobody takes time with senior citizens to give them the explanations and help them to understand. They've usually been stationary for so long that they just don't know what's going on. But that sums up my 10 minutes.